What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the Only Sports Podcast. That's right, the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. Face to face, back together again. You sent me a picture before we started this of you being like, I'm going button up. So then I went button up, and we're the button up buddies.
We're the button-up buddies. But for those who can't see, I'm going with that, I don't know, early 90s, late 80s look.
Yeah.
Feeling it.
And
I don't ever get to wear this hat that often, but I love this hat. It's so comfy.
See, this is like my beach vacation shirt, so I never wear
You wear
these
that on
kind
the
of
beach?
shirts. I do. It's
Actually, I
because
do-
you can just take it off and
No,
put
I
it
do
on.
think you wore that when we went to Santa Monica.
I think so.
I think it was just you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it was just you and me hanging out at Santa
Actually,
Monica.
no. I got this in Mexico,
Oh.
which was
No,
like
I know
2
you
years
didn't
ago.
get it in Santa Monica.
But a type of shirt like this,
Yeah.
yes. But also, I was like, I never wear these kind of shirts because I just don't, like, except for on vacation. I was like, only dorky, like, white guys wear these kind of shirts. I'm not even shitting you. I went to the gas station down the street from my house I always grab me and casino beverages. And I walk in. The only other person in the gas station is a white guy wearing this exact color shirt. It's button up. He's got it tucked into his khakis and he's wearing like brown loafers. And I was like, I nailed this. And then I literally
Did he
was
ask him
just
to help you with your shirt?
no, but I was literally standing behind him at the gas station line, and it was just he was like an older guy, so he literally just looked like my dad, and then me just standing behind him, just being like,
My dad.
yeah, I'm old enough to pay for my own groceries today. But we are here today, Casino,
I'm
for
doing good, by the way. Thanks for asking.
I think I did ask how you were doing. Yeah, but also don't really care. No,
You got too much going on anyway.
Yeah, but today we are here to talk about the 2025 NFL schedule release, which will be the name of this episode. So, without further ado, let's get into this because I mean, the only other thing going on is NBA and NHL playoffs, and we'll talk about that at the end. But kind of what we expect.
If we have time, we're gonna do a list.
A list of what?
We're gonna do my list, damn it.
Oh, of your drinks?
Yes.
We can.
If we have
can
time.
Do it. If we have time. But so first off, just right off the bat, Casino, when it comes to the NFL schedule, the things that stuck out to you just in general are what? Because there was one big one that stuck out for me.
We talked about a little bit was all that travel to overseas and how many games there are overseas. That's crazy. As my mom outside with the dog. They got a new puppy, so that's fun.
Oh, that's nice.
So I wonder if we can hear her.
I don't know if they'd be able to hear her, but we can hear her.
That's
she's being nice to a dog.
Yeah, she's trying to get the puppy to pee. That's funny. That's delightful.
Yeah, but what were you saying?
Yeah, I don't recall. Just travel. That's gonna be great.
Well, also the thing that stuck out to me was the NFL primetime games. So the three teams that did not get an NFL primetime game out of all the teams, there's three of them. It's Saints, Titans, and Browns.
I can agree with all of that, though.
But with the Titans, don't you want to see the number one pick? Like, don't you want to see him on a Monday night? Monday night games suck anyways. Who cares?
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know.
I mean, every team should get at least one primetime game.
Yeah.
So the shitty teams, you should just put them on at the start of the season, when nobody really gives a shit. Because then at the end of the season, I mean, that's something that I don't like is when they change. They're like, oh, we're going to bump you off of that.
Mm-hmm.
That messes with people's schedules, man. Like,
well, especially when you change it from, oh, you were going to be, what is it, on our time? Like, you were going to be a 5 p.m. Sunday night game. Now you're going to be a 1 p.m. like afternoon game, especially where you're saying, like, people months and months in advance buy these tickets, and then it's just like, oh, like, I guess now we're just going, I was going to try to go to work after, but I guess I can't now. So this is how the primetime games by teams break down. As I just said, 0 games for the Browns, Titans, and Saints, which I think Browns and Saints I agree with, especially after the Derek Carr news. Like, the Saints are going to have the worst quarterback room in the league.
Oh yeah,
right, like by far.
Luckily, they have the second easiest schedule. We'll get to strength of schedule too, but luckily they're easy there.
So I did want to see Cam Ward. I guess Shedeur Sanders if he was starting, but then it's dicey because if you're are you putting the Browns on a early primetime game or a late primetime game? Like in the season, you don't know.
You keep saying primetime.
Primetime. Oh, see, I didn't even know that. But next up with one game is Panthers, Colts, Jaguars. Thank God we only have to watch one primetime Jaguars and Colts game. I think the AFC South this year is going to be brutal. Panthers, again, I kind of want to see Bryce Young in the big time. 2 games. How the Jets got 2 games, I have no idea. Quick question. Who's the Jets starting quarterbacks this year?
Don't know.
Justin Fields.
Okay, there you go.
See? And then
I forget. I honestly forget because I don't pay attention until it actually starts in week 1 and see who who's starting where. Because I mean, hell, like just Derek Carr, I expected him to play, right? And all of a sudden he's like, "Nah, I'm out."
Yeah, and that was sad. And now the Saints are going to be a less interesting team, despite being one of the least interesting teams after week 3 last year. Next up, your team, Casino, Raiders, Patriots, and Giants, 3 primetime games. I feel like for all 3 of those, that's crazy.
I am so excited. The Patriots, we'll get back into the strength of schedule later. They got the 3rd easiest strength of schedule. Finally, we have an easy strength of schedule with a shitty team.
Yeah.
And we've just gotten better this season. And I got a fun prediction on I think we should do predictions on how well our team's going to do.
I mean, it works so well with your Golden Knights pick. So can't wait to see.
One bad thing. All right.
I mean, I'm the most objective person on this podcast. I'm an oracle. I called my team winning the Super Bowl in the preseason, so it's but next up, most teams have 4 and 5 primetime games. Yeah. That's where most of the league is, which kind of feels about right. Like once a month your team is on primetime. That seems kind of what it should be. Now here's where it gets to the point where I think it's shocking. So now the 2 teams that were in the Super Bowl last year were obviously the Chiefs and the Eagles. I don't remember who won that one. But it's those 2 were obviously in the Super Bowl. So they have 7 games and 6 games in prime time. Kansas City has 7 games, which I understand because, and again, I've seen Eagles fans be like, "Oh, I'm pissed that the Eagles only have 6 primetime games." 6 primetime games is a lot. That is a lot. That is a lot they have, I think I read this thing where the only 2 days of the week the Eagles do not play this coming season are Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday and Wednesday. Every other day of the week they play a game. They play on a Saturday, they play on a Monday, they play on a Thursday, they play on a Saturday, they play on a Sunday. They play on a Friday, they play the Black Friday game this year. So that, again, 6, I think is too much. I would have preferred them to have 5 or 4, but whatever. 7 with Kansas City because you want to see the Kansas City matchups, right? So you want to see Bills, Ravens.
We did our list, and I have them high. There's so many games of Kansas City. And it's not just because obviously I don't care for Kansas City. I want to see the other teams to see if they can beat them. And I want to see if Kansas City is going to lose. Like,
and obviously Taylor Swift of it and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's you love her. You're a big fan.
She's the best. Shake it off.
But okay, here's the question, Casino. I don't know.
Summertime. Is that one?
I don't know. I don't listen to Taylor Swift that much.
Love Story.
But that one. So we just talked about the teams that have 3 or less primetime games. You're like, that makes sense. Eagles and Chiefs having the 2 most primetime games. You're like, that makes sense. Now here's a random one who also is tied with the Eagles for having 6 primetime games. The Dallas Cowboys. Why on planet Earth do the Dallas Cowboys have 6 primetime games this upcoming season, Casino? So we look at the Eagles-Cowboys primetime game. We've already talked about it Thursday night. I hate it. You hate it. I've not talked to one single person or heard one single person be like, they nailed it. They got it right. Especially when you look at the next couple games the Eagles have.
I set up my week to where it's Sunday. I get to watch my sports from morning to afternoon.
Yeah.
The night game, whatever. I will actually watch that at work. but the wife knows that, and sounds shitty. The wife knows, but that's my day, and she enjoys watching football too, and that's like our lounge day. The kids are hanging out. Like, we'll just leave the back door. They'll hang out. They'll do whatever they need to do. But yeah, I enjoy my Sunday, so I don't give a shit about Thursday games, Monday games, because I have to make time for those. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. And it's one of those ones also where the quality greatly drops when it's any other day but Sunday. Even Monday night games are real fucking hit or miss. Like, real hit or miss. Thursday games are usually always bad because, again, it's a short rest week and all this kind of stuff. But also, when it comes to the Cowboys, which is who we're talking about right now, did you know that this football season, I just found this out right before we started recording this, they have 4 weekends off. They play so many primetime games during the week. They have 4 football Sundays off in the middle of the season that aren't bye weeks. That's crazy. That is insane. But so the first primetime game is Cowboys-Eagles. The next one they have after that is Packers-Cowboys on, I believe that's Sunday Night Football. So within the first month, they have opening night, a Sunday night football game. Then they go Monday night against Cardinals and Cowboys. Again, that's like a Monday night where it's just, that's one everybody's looking for. Or actually, let me pull up this. I don't have my calendar right here, so I will see which days these actually are.
Calendar.
But then what is it? You look at, so, okay, I got it pulled up right here. So then
we'll figure these out.
Yeah. There we go. So you have Cowboys Cardinals on November 3rd. Yes, that's a Monday night. Then they play the Cowboys Raiders. Again, also my problem with this is these aren't like matchups where you're just like, oh yeah, people have been dying to see Cowboys Raiders. Like, what are we talking about? They have that game on November 17th. So that's obviously after the bye week. They have another Monday night game. So they go Monday night, have that weekend off, go bye week, have that weekend off, and then play Monday night. That is, again, when we talk about rest advantage and rest disadvantage and all that kind of stuff, garbage. They play then Thanksgiving against the Chiefs, which, why, when they do Thanksgiving games are games everyone is going to watch, correct?
Right.
Like, so why try to make those matchups like,
I mean, at least the first morning and afternoon, because by nighttime everybody's passed out from the you say that shit.
The stuff that puts you to sleep.
Yeah.
So this is literally like, they are so, and by they, I mean the NFL, are so trying to make the Cowboys a relevant team because
they're one of the worst teams in the league this year.
I agree, but also with this cupcake cookie schedule, they literally go Monday night, bye week, another Monday night game, then go Sunday, then they have a Thursday game, they get another week off, and then go to a Thursday game. So I mean, they go Thursday to Thursday.
That. I mean, that's bullshit. But also, they do have the 5th hardest schedule going into this year.
Good.
Going off of what their win percentage of the teams, of the opponents in 2024, what their win percentage was. That's how they justify, for those of you who don't know, that's how they justify strength of schedule going into the next season, is they go off the win percentage of their opponents from 2024. And that's where you get it from.
So actually, let's they have so many primetime games, and all of them are in their benefit, of course. But let's go to this.
I mean, you said a lot of those are at home, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? They were shit at home last season, so it doesn't matter.
So let's look at the strength of schedule.
I got it all pulled up here.
All right. So let's go the top 5 easiest, and then we'll go top 5 hardest. So okay. Who has the top 5 easiest?
The Niners have the easiest schedule.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, and it's crazy because last year they were the number 1. They had the hardest schedule last season, going into the season. I mean, obviously it changes because we don't know how teams are going to be during the season.
Yeah.
But to start the season, projected, they had the hardest schedule. So they have projected the easiest schedule this season and then going from there, the Saints, Okay. So they're still going to be shit. Then the Patriots, I like that because, again, I predict my team to do much better than I even thought they were going to do this year. And we'll get into that. And it's justifiable. I mean, they got the third easiest schedule.
No, you can make a case.
And then I've just seen your smile. Then you have the Titans and then the Panthers. So, yeah.
So, wait, run that by me again.
So, it's Niners, Saints, Patriots, Titans, Panthers.
So, see, I think in that list, you have Panthers, Titans, Patriots, who are in like divisions that, again, the AFC East, the Bills are good, but who knows what the Dolphins are going to be. Jets, I would pick you guys over the Jets right now. So that's a potential wild card team right there.
We'll get into what I'm thinking. My brother sent out a in our Patriot chat on what we think we do, and I'm in agreement for once with him on everything. He's being realistic, it seems like. Shout out to my brother. But yeah. So, and then let's get to the hardest strength of schedules this season, going off of the percentages of last year. New York Giants have the hardest schedule this year.
That sucks.
Followed by the Chicago Bears.
See, those are two teams that I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, I mean, maybe this is, but go on.
And then you have the Lions, which justifiable, they're a good team. And then the Eagles, and then the Cowboys.
Yeah. And so let's talk about your team first, and we'll talk about my team, Casino. So looking at your team's schedule, how much do you see the tree is?
I was like, I didn't get a text saying, come up, kid.
So let's look at your New England Patriots schedule.
Let's do it.
When you saw this schedule and looked at your team's schedule, just what's your optimistic, your realistic, and then what you think it's going to happen?
Real quick, just throwing this out there. My wife just sent me a text out of nowhere. If you had to rate 9 superheroes from strongest to weakest, male and female, what would they be? I love my wife. I will get back to that later. That's delightful.
Rank 9. Well, she's a teacher, so this is probably a children's question.
Yes, we'll have to get that. I don't have time for that right now. That's delightful. Anyway, so we got the Patriots schedule, right?
Yes.
And you said what I think they're gonna do.
So let's say most optimistic. What can you see their win-loss record being?
Being a total optimist, looking at this, let's
do it. This isn't the realistic. This is optimistic.
Optimistic 12.
Woo! Okay, now realistic. What do you think it's going to be?
10.
If you say fucking 12.
No,
okay.
10.
10? Okay, what are the 10 wins? Give them to me.
So my brother has 11 here on the wins, and I think they're pretty stacked, so I'm just going to... So here we go. Raiders, week 1. Dolphins. Then they'll lose at Steelers, which that's the one that I'm like, they could potentially win. And that's versus Steelers. That's not at Steelers. And then, so their first 4 games, 3 of them are at home. So you got Raiders, Dolphins, win, away, or let me start over here. Sorry. In New England, home, Raiders, win. At Dolphins, win. At Foxborough, Steelers, loss. Panthers at home, win. They lose to the Bills in week 5. Then let's see.
That one's a Sunday night game. Patriots at Buffalo Bills, October 5th, Sunday night football.
Yeah.
That's your guys' no, you got 2 primetime games.
And then away for 2 at the Saints, Titans, win both of those. Back home versus Browns, Falcons, win both of those. And then we got at Bucks, lose. At Gillette versus Jets, win. At Bengals, lose. Back at Gillette, Giants win. Bills lose again. At Ravens, lose. Then at Jets, and then back at home versus Dolphins, win both of those. So they're losing to the Steelers, the Bills twice, the Bucks, and the Bengals, and the Ravens. So they're 11-6. But there's some wins.
Very realistic.
There's some wins in there.
That is true.
I mean. So and so there's some wins in there, and then I could also see them maybe losing 1 or 2 of those games that I expect to win. So that's why I'm saying realistically 10. Like they could be a 10-win team this year.
That is true. Looking at their schedule, and it also favors out pretty nicely where you get the Bills the second time after a bye week.
Yeah.
And after a Monday night game, so that now that's almost like a 2-week Or no,
No,
it'd be less.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shorter.
I'm just thinking if it was flipped. But yeah, I mean, I think you guys are definitely better right now than what we've seen from the Dolphins. I mean, who knows? Who knows who's even going to be the quarterback in Week 18 for the Dolphins?
Right.
Like if it's yeah, and you guys always lose one to the Dolphins, so maybe I would say one. Like again, no matter how bad the Cowboys are, I feel like the Eagles.
I could see them beating the Steelers at home in Week 3.
No, that's very true.
Like that's an easy one.
Yeah,
not an easy one, but I can see that happening. And the only reason we have my brother putting the loss to the Bengals, that's on a short week. So, and it's in Cincinnati. So, I mean, these are potentials, man. I like this.
No, I agree. I agree. Now let's move over to my team, which is the Super Bowl champion
and
Philadelphia
the fourth
Eagles.
hardest schedule.
Fourth hardest schedule. And when you look at this schedule, I will say the things that stick out are obviously the primetime games. The other thing that sticks out, we do not, and by we, I mean the Eagles, do not have 2 home games back-to-back weeks the entire season. So every week it either goes like the first week, obviously we're opening. Let's go through the Eagles schedule right now because this first 9 weeks is just utter and complete bullshit. Just garbage. The first month of the season, we play Dallas opening night. The very next week, we go Sunday night, America's game of the week, which I've always hated, is Sunday at Kansas City. Why are the Eagles going to Kansas City instead of but whatever. So after that, then it's Rams at home, which will be nice because it was like 4 seasons in a row where we played the Rams and they were always in LA. So finally they're going to Philadelphia. Then it's at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay now, the Eagles have played, I think, 3 years in a row at Tampa Bay. The Tampa Bay Bucks have never played the Eagles in this, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts scenario or whatever, or the seasons they've been quarterbacks. The Tampa Bay Bucks have always played the Eagles every season, never once in Philadelphia. So right there, that first month, Super Bowl team, divisional opponent, and then 2 teams last year that everybody thought the Rams could beat them, and then Tampa Bay, a team that actually did beat them. So that first month is brutal.
It doesn't get easier.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And then the next, I think everybody's overrating Denver a little. I really think we are.
We'll take a step back.
Well, I also think we see it every single time there's a rookie quarterback that has a good rookie season. They always have a sophomore slump, like across the board. So you're looking at all these teams that had rookie quarterbacks last year and just being like, oh, they're going to do better. And then you fall into what happened with CJ Stroud last year, where it was just like
MVP pick.
Yeah. And then so now you're looking at everybody's going to overhype Chicago. Everybody's going to overhype Denver. Everybody's going to overhype Washington. And it's like, historically, it's not an outlier. It's a rule that rookie quarterbacks in their second year take steps back. Yeah. So also Washington is a much older team than I think people realize, which means the older you get in the NFL, like the data shows, the more injury prone you are. So again, the Eagles don't play Washington till week 16. At that point, who knows even what Washington is? But
and I don't like your end of your schedule, dude.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, yeah.
You guys finish off the season, your last 3 games: Washington, Bills, at Washington, at Bills, and then back home to play Washington again.
Yeah.
And you might play Washington 3 times in the matter of 5 weeks.
Yeah.
But in like the matter of 5 weeks.
I know. But so after that first month of the season, then we go Denver, New York, Minnesota, New York. I think Minnesota takes a step back. I think New York is going to be good. I don't think they're going to be at the Eagles level. So, and plus Eagles always dominate the Giants. So I think coming off, and then they have the week 9 bye. So coming into week 9, I think they beat Dallas. They lose to Kansas City because Kansas City, that's going to be their big revenge game. It's going to be home. That place is going to be crazy, all that kind of stuff. Then, and also, well, Eagles will be on a long week, so they might win that game. I don't know. I'm still picking them to win that game, but who knows? This is the realistic, and then I'll give optimistic. They beat Dallas, lose to Kansas City. They beat LA. LA did not beat the Eagles and got run on by almost 300 yards all time last season. All they've heard about since the Super Bowl is how the Rams almost beat them. I think that game is going to be the revenge game, even
Still
though.
looking forward to it, though.
Oh, well, yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield, they just have the Eagles number. I really think that going into a month of the season,
happens.
It does. We see that all the time, and I'm not even mad about it. It's just
basketball. I mean, the Pacers had the Cavs number, and it showed.
Yeah, and so I think it's going to be the same start as last season, which we're going to be going 2-2, right? A win at Dallas, or win with Dallas, win with Rams, and then losing to both Kansas City and Tampa Bay. Then I think we rattle off 4 in a row. I think we beat Denver, New York twice, and I think we beat Minnesota because, again, Minnesota, much like New York, we just always beat the Vikings.
So I just want to tell you right now. So how you have it, you're 2-2. You're 2-2 to start the season. Guess what? I told you 2-2 teams win Super Bowls. It happens.
That's what happened to them last year.
Yeah. 2-2. I mean, the Patriots have done it many times. Your team did it last year.
Oh,
it's phenomenal. 2-2 teams, love it.
I'm going to make the case that I think the Eagles repeat just because I don't think there's a better team in the NFC, but we'll save that. So right there, they're 6-2 going into the bye. Monday night, especially coming off a bye at Green Bay, I think they beat the Packers. Again, we don't know what Jordan Love is. There's no way I think the Packers are a better team, right? No. Detroit. Now, this is going to be the one where I could see it going either way because we don't know what Detroit, we don't know what the Lions are going to look like without their 2 coordinators, right? Like, we saw how important coordinators were the year after the Eagles went to the Super Bowl the first time. Yeah, that's a good game, but also that's one where it's going to be a pick 'em based on how Detroit looks at that because who knows, maybe Ben Johnson and the D coordinator they had were the secret sauce in Detroit. Who knows if Detroit is even good this year? I don't know. Dallas, that one's going to be in Dallas. I could see Dallas beating the Eagles because, again, every year I feel like Eagles and Cowboys go 1-1. Like, it's just with you, it's like your team and the Dolphins. No matter how bad the team is, they always just play your team good, right? You're always 1-1 against them.
Yeah.
So right there. And then Chicago, much like what I said about Jaden Daniels and Denver's quarterback, Bo Nix, I think Caleb Williams takes a step back. I don't think I'm not betting on any second-year rookie quarterbacks. I'm just not betting on any of those teams. Okay. So I think they beat Chicago. The Chargers are one of those teams where they're good. They're always good, but I feel like December's where they start falling off. Right? Like always the Chargers end of the season, they all of a sudden start taking steps back. I think Eagles beat the Raiders. I'm sad it's going to be in Philadelphia, not in Vegas, because that's a game.
You would have gone to.
Yeah. Then, like you said, last 3 games, we always beat Buffalo, and then we'll probably split with Washington. So right there.
Washington plays you tough. Washington is your Miami.
Yeah. So, well, I think Cowboys are our Miami, but quickly Washington is becoming our Miami because they're obviously better than the Cowboys. But so just with that thought, I think we're going to split with Washington, split with the Cowboys, sweep the Lions, or not sweep the Lions, sweep the Giants. So I think it's a, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. See, that's optimistic that it's a 13-win team. I realistically think it's an 11-12 win team because, again, there's been so much
just better than the Patriots.
Well, there's been I mean, that is true. But there's been so much talk about what the Eagles have lost on the offense and defensive side of the ball. You want to know how many starters they lost on the offensive side of the ball, Casino? Take a guess.
Mm-hmm.
They lost 0 offensive starters on offense, and they lost what? They lost 3 defensive starters. So everybody's acting. Yeah, exactly. But so everybody's acting like the Eagles are like this depleted team and they lost everybody. They literally lost 3 starters in free agency. So this whole thing, we're like, they're going to take a step back. Also, I did not know this. Did you know since Jalen Hurts has been a freshman in college, he has never had the same offensive coordinator 2 years in a row? So that's insane.
As good as he is,
dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that is a thing because again, everybody hypes up Mahomes, everybody hypes up Brady, everybody hypes up Peyton Manning. They pretty much had the same offensive coordinators throughout most of their career, and if anything, it was less than 3 for all of them.
And those players didn't need offensive coordinators.
Yeah,
both Brady and Manning. They just knew the game. They were their own offensive coordinators.
Yeah.
And then Mahomes, he's just so good on the improv that they don't really need offensive coordinators.
So these are the offensive coordinators. He has had 5 different offensive coordinators in his 6 years in the NFL, in his NFL career. This is the
and he's gone to the Super Bowl twice and won once. Like, wow.
Yeah. So he had Doug Peterson, then he had Nick Sirianni, then he had Shane Steichen, then he had Brian Johnson, not that one, the other one. Then he had Kellen Moore last year, and this year it's Kevin Patullo. So it's one of those things where everybody gives shit to Jalen Hurts, but it's just like the one time an offensive coordinator ever is his offensive head coach, that coach immediately goes on to be a head coach the next season. So maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's Hurts. Like maybe, just maybe he's the one that's the secret sauce.
That was the thing with Josh McDaniels, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Brady
made him look better.
Well, then also, who has had success? Doug Peterson went to the Jaguars, got fired. Shane Steichen is currently the head coach of the Colts. Now, probably going to be fired at the end of the season. Brian Johnson was the one who was like on the staff, did not get another job after he was fired after that season.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels, he's the only person in NFL history to be a head coach and fired mid-season twice.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. And then Kellen Moore, obviously last year was the offensive coordinator. He's now the coach of the Saints. So it's like these guys don't leave Jalen Hurts and all of a sudden go just have Pro Bowl seasons with other people. They just, but now, Casino, let's get to, we each made a top 10 list for our NFL schedules, the games we're most excited for. Let's just go back and forth. I got it here on, this is called Paper, and you write on it.
Yeah, so I will say this, though. If I missed a couple, I am sorry. Feel free to put it in the comments if you think a game's better than what my list is. Reason saying is I did this in 10 minutes before the show. So,
and I actually sat down and did mine.
Yeah, you sent this to me last night. I was like, I'm at work. And then obviously went home. Then I had all the stuff this morning with the kids, the gym. And so I was like, yeah, I'll roll up and just get it done. So let's go. Want me to start with my number 10?
We'll go back and forth.
My number 10, week 4, Chicago versus Las Vegas. And I'll tell you why. This one has nothing to do with this one has nothing to do with the. Is it not on your list?
Not on my list.
Yeah. The reason why this wouldn't be on my list, outside of my coworker is from Chicago. He is going to go to this game, and with my connections, I'm probably going to get him down on the field to watch this. And so I will be cheering my ass off for Chicago to win this game if my buddy goes to this game and he's on the field, and that would just be cool for him. So that's my only reason for it, and it's number 10. I'm excited for this game because I can make that happen.
My number 10, I'm subbing out because I have way too many games with the Baltimore Ravens in it, which I don't know why.
I've got them on here at least twice.
So my number 10, it's actually going to be week 6, Chicago Bears at Washington Commanders. Okay. So you get the classic, this guy was the first
quarterback. By the way, these rules, we got to set the ground rules. The ground rules were you can only choose one game with your team.
Yes.
And then no divisional games of any sort. Why? Because we obviously know those are going to be good games. Like, hell, my first game would have been, like, my top game would have been Kansas City going to Brazil playing the Chargers week 1.
Yeah.
Which we called, by the way.
Which we did call. That's the only reason they teased that.
Yeah,
you knew it was going to be.
So no divisional games by any team. So this made it a little bit more difficult.
And I'm an Eagles fan. He's a Patriots fan, as you can tell by the things behind us.
So we just have one game each.
Yes. Even though as an Eagles fan, I feel like I could, even as just a fan of football, I could legitimately put 6 Eagles games on this schedule?
I have 3
Eagles games.
Yeah.
Jesus. So my number 10, yeah, you have Bears, Commanders. You get to see first quarterback taken, play second quarterback taken. Obviously, all the hype last year going into the season was on Caleb Williams. All the hype coming out of the season was on Jaden Daniels. So now, and plus both of these teams, I feel like a lot of people, I still don't know. I still have to crunch the numbers on this casino, but I feel like the Commanders and Bears are going to be a lot of people's picks for like, these teams, maybe this is a preview of the NFC Championship game. I can already see those talks happening.
My number 9, we got Week 11, Detroit versus Philly, and I like this because it's later in the season, so it'll be where things matter, but it might not be the most detrimental loss for either one of these teams. They can still figure things out, but we know it's going to be a good game. I think the Lions take a step back, and the Phillies obviously still really good. This is in Philly, so I'm expecting the Eagles to beat Detroit in this one. But just going to be a fun game, Week 11. Things matter, but they don't quite matter.
Also, this is on my list, but I will not tell you where. My number 9, I am going with the Bucks and the Rams in Week 12.
I almost put that one.
I think that is just, again, there's the little history there with Baker Mayfield on the Rams. Yeah. Basically, that one Thursday night game got Baker Mayfield to the Tampa Bay Bucks. Bucks have been good since then. I feel like Bucks are also going to be a sneaky pick for people being like, could Tampa Bay be in the NFC Championship game? Because again,
they could.
Well, they could, but also
Baker's going big.
This might actually, I'll save this rant till I get to the Eagles game.
Yeah,
but
we got to kind of keep going through these though because we only got 25 minutes left by Dwight.
Yeah, you're number 8.
All right, my number 8. Week 3, LA Rams versus Philly. Why? Again, here's another Philly game, but it's in Philadelphia this time, as you were alluding to.
Yes,
it's not in LA, so yes. I want to see what.
And it probably won't be snowing.
Right.
Like it was last time.
So the Rams versus Philly. Rams have always played Philly tough, but it's always been in LA, right?
That's true.
So I want to see what the Rams can do traveling into Philly because I expect the Rams.
It's not a playoff game and all that kind of stuff.
It's not a playoff game. Yeah. I expect the Rams to. Be a good team and make a wild card at least. And then Philly, obviously, I have going high and going far, flying high, going far. So I'm excited for this game. Week 3.
That was number 8. So my number 8, I have Ravens Chiefs in week 4. I have it so low on the list because I feel like we've seen this matchup so many times, and it's always, I don't know if the games ever match the hype of it, which is why it's so low on the list, because these always appear to be low scoring games, but all this kind of stuff. As of right now, it's May 15th when we're recording this. Yep. Obviously, NFL season starts in September. As of right now, I think just looking at the NFL before, again, diving into the research and all that kind of stuff, my Super Bowl matchup, I think, is Eagles-Ravens. I think that's where I'm leaning towards. And again, they did the Super Bowl logo this year with like 10 different color combinations. So to avoid the whole pre-written thing. So I think it's going to be Ravens Eagles. And that's why for this one, I think this is going to be an early test for the Ravens. And also, who knows, like maybe Mahomes is in that Brady era where it was that 10-year window where Brady just couldn't get back to a Super Bowl. It kind of feels like we're getting to that, right? I don't think anybody's
almost there.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's looking at this Chiefs team and being like, oh my God, they improved so much from getting annihilated in the Super Bowl. And also Travis Kelce, I feel like this is his last year, but it kind of looked like last year where his wheels kind of fell off, right? Like, so who knows if there's no Kelce, what this Chiefs offense even is. Your number 7.
My number 7, we have my team. We have Las Vegas versus New England. Raiders, week 1. I want to see what this new team looks like so badly, and it's going to be a home opener.
That's your one pick for your team.
Pick. That's my season opener. Because obviously the games that I expect them to win, I expect them to win. The games I expect them to lose, I expect them to lose. There's going to be some good games there. We just went through all that. So I want to see what this team can do. Week 1, season, not just home opener, season opener. In Foxborough, I'm excited, and I want to see what this team can do. I want them to just put it to the Raiders.
Yeah. I also am very
I
interested.
want to see it. I'm so intrigued to see what this team can do.
Yeah.
And we'll know right away, in my opinion.
No, that's true. And also, again, Raiders are a completely different team. I feel like they will also be a sneaky pick for, a team on the rise. And they're basically just the Seahawks. But Seahawks, when it was Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, they were always a perennial 9-10 win team that always was in the Super Bowl. So who knows? That was your number 7. My number 7, another Chiefs matchup, and that is Chiefs Lions in week 6. So I think that when you look at Lions Chiefs, obviously we got it last year on opening day, and that was the one, remember, where like the Chiefs were missing some people, and it was just
totally.
or no, not last year, it was 2 years ago.
You're right.
But yeah, it was like Chiefs were missing people, Lions barely beat them. And again, I think one of my top 5 most interesting teams this season are the Lions, just to see again what they are without Ben Johnson and that offense, and just see, who they are. So, and again, it's a matchup we don't really get that often, which is NFC powerhouse, AFC powerhouse, week 4 early in the season, teams still trying to figure each other out. So that's my number 7. Your number 6.
Yeah, week 13, Minnesota versus Seattle, because I want to see what the Sam Darnold is going to do. Because they're not.
I almost put it on my list.
They're not playing in Minnesota. They're playing in Seattle. So that's what I'm excited for. I think Seattle had a good draft. I think they had a good offseason. And Minnesota, not bad, but I do think they're going to take a little step back. I'm going to say a little step back. They could take a bigger step back, but I didn't expect them to be as good as they were last year, right? So I'm going to say little step back, and I want to see what Sam Darnold could do against his former team that didn't keep him.
Yeah.
Where he had a very successful year.
You know what? This is number 6, correct?
Yeah.
My number 6, I actually have a week 17 matchup between the Ravens and the Packers. That just seems like such a weird, interesting matchup. Like, who knows what that's going to look like?
Sure.
That I just saw that and I was just huh,
leave it.
That's interesting. A Ravens Packers. Like, I don't even, if in Lambeau, that's, again, I don't think Lamar Jackson has ever played in Lambeau.
I don't know.
But that's why I was very intrigued by that. Your number 5.
Week 1, Baltimore versus Buffalo. Why week 1?
That is my number 5.
Nice. So let's talk about it. This could have total playoff implications to start the year. That's going to be huge, because I think both these teams have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl again, and as they do every year the last 5 years. And I really think this is going to be a massive game. Spoiler, a lot of my games coming up are going to be games that matter with seeding. So that's going to be a huge one. That's my number 5. That's the reason why. Yours?
Yeah, my number 5, it's excuse me. But yeah, it's week 1. It's the Sunday night game. So it's going to be the last game on opening night or opening weekend.
Yeah.
So it's just, and again, like you said, every year of especially this Chiefs dynasty AFC era, it's always come down to 1 or 2 games between Baltimore, the Bills, the Bengals, the Chiefs, and they're all kind of just
shifty.
Yeah, it's like sliding doors
and
moments
I know how important it is to win a first home opener. When early in the season, when I went to Foxborough when the Patriots won back in 18, whatever it was, I think it was 18. They beat the Texans, and that came down to the tie break to get their seeding and to get an easier road into the Super Bowl and win.
That's exactly why.
It's huge.
Yep.
Huge.
And again, you look at the Buffalo schedule, they're playing all those teams. Yeah. They're playing the Ravens. They're playing the Chiefs. They're playing the Bengals. They're playing Pittsburgh and Houston, who are potential, wild card fringe teams.
They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're only the 10th hardest schedule.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on from that. My number 4, week 6, Detroit, Kansas City. This is what I really think we'll know, because you get those first few games out of the way, right? Those first 5. This will really show what the Lions got this year.
Yep.
Going into KC. Like
Yeah.
if the Lions, they want to prove that they're still the Lions and they roar loud and rah, and all that shit. They got to do it in week 5 or week 6 against KC in Kansas City. Because if they go and win or they just put up a great game, then I'm going to be okay. They're still okay.
Yeah. Also, let's look at. We'll go to Kansas City and look at their schedule. What strength of schedule do the Chiefs have?
They're mid-pack, but a little on the harder side. So let's see, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. They got the 11th hardest schedule.
And which one we're at? We're at number 4.
Yeah.
So my number 4 pick right here is. Oh, my number 4 is a Chiefs Commanders game on Monday Night Football, October 27th. So we get Monday night where we get the new most overhyped quarterback in the league, quote unquote. We'll see what he does this season in Jaden Daniels. It's going to be in Washington. It's going to be Kansas City on the road. And if you think about it, I mean, 4 touchdowns decided the NFC Championship. But if that, I've heard that wasn't, a convincing blowout. So if Commanders would have won that game, this would have potentially been the Super Bowl where it was Chiefs Commanders. So
Fair.
Monday night standalone game, end of October. Yeah. So it's going to be cold. It's going to be a good game. Chiefs Commanders, your number 3.
Yeah, my number 3, we are going to go week 4, Baltimore versus KC. Obviously, a lot going into Kansas City. Baltimore's got to show that they can be ready for this season early for me, because I need to see it early, because if I don't, and if they're doing their back and forth thing that they typically do, then I'm not going to believe in them.
Yeah.
Going into the playoffs, I need to see them take care of a big contender to start the season.
Yeah. My number 3 is Bengals Bills week 14. I think, yeah, when you think about this game, I think the Bengals potentially could be another year from hell where they're a dumpster fire.
And that's why they're not on my list at all.
Yeah, but I also think, there's a real possibility that Joe Burrow.
This is a prove it year.
Yeah, that Joe Burrow, again, just puts the team on his back. The defense is, again, they just have to be mediocre instead of the worst defense in the league, and they're a real contender.
Until I see it, I can't put
yeah,
them on
I get that.
10.
But when I look at Bengals Bills, I just think Burrow, Burrow versus Josh Allen, and that does it for me.
Yeah.
Your number 2.
My number 2, week 6, Detroit going into KC. Same thing. It's all about seeding, honestly. But this is obviously not. This is for AFC and NFC. And I know that doesn't have anything to do with it, but I want to see if the Lions can. Again, for me, I have 2 Lions games on here. Yeah. Week 11 and week 6, and it's basically to see if the Lions can handle it.
Yeah.
Truly.
No, my top 2 are Lions games. So
I know which one is one of those.
Yeah. My number 2 matchup, Casino. Again, it's early in the season. It's week 5. It's Lions Bengals. Again, pretty much for the same reason we're getting Bengals Bills, which is at least that's the end of the season.
In the top 3,
dude. That's what I'm saying. I think the Bengals are one of the most interesting teams in the league. And when I was putting this list together, I was like, I really want to see Bengals. I really want to see Bengals Lions. In week 5, and then my number 1.
I know. My number 1 is gonna be. I go first, bitch. Number 1, week 9, Kansas City versus Buffalo. And I know this apparently is not on your list. Boo. But this is later in the season, right? This is week 9. This again has playoff implications on who's going to get the number 1 seed, because they were so close to getting it last year. That this is the game. And yes, Buffalo can take care of Kansas City in the regular season. They can't do it in the postseason.
That's why it does. This game doesn't matter.
It does matter.
The Bills beat them.
For seeding, man,
it doesn't matter. The Bills beat them at home. They beat them on the road, and then when it gets to the playoffs, the Chiefs beat them.
You and I both agree. Let me ask you:
Yes.
Do you think the Chiefs take a step back?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. And I don't think the Bills take a step back. So
I don't think they take a step forward.
But they're not. We think the Chiefs are going to take a step back, and we don't think the Bills are going to take a step forward. Right? They're going to stay neutral where they're at. So that right there, I do think Buffalo, this game, I think they're going to be almost locked in at the same. This is going to be a huge game, man, because this might be the year where Buffalo gets that number 1 seed, and they have to go into Buffalo.
They've already done that.
They've done it, yes, but they've done it what, once?
Yeah. What? Okay, they've done it once in the playoffs. What, you think it's going to be hard to do it a second time in the playoffs? They do it every year.
Yes.
Also, every team did the schedule release videos. The Chiefs did Cash Cab. You remember Cash Cab from 10 years ago?
I love that show.
What a weird.
I never watched reruns. That's great.
But it's not topical. Like the Colts or whatever did like a Minecraft theme. At least that's topical. The Chiefs did 10 to 20-year-olds.
I saw that. It's just like the chicken jockey in the background. It's so fucking dumb.
And then obviously my number 1 is Eagles, Lions.
Week 11.
Week 11, Sunday Night Football, because obviously that was the matchup everybody wanted to see. But now let's scoot over to.
You put Philly, your pick.
Yeah, but also I think. But again, that's a matchup we haven't seen. We haven't seen Eagles versus this Lions team. We see Kansas City, Buffalo.
But this Lions team is not going to be this Lions team. We don't think.
Well, let's actually segue over to the Chiefs. So let's look at the Chiefs schedule, Casino. We both think they're going to take a step back, but when we're looking at their schedule, let's just go down it and see where the step back is.
Go down.
So their first month of the season, they play Chargers, Eagles, Giants, Baltimore. I think they could realistically after that be 2-2. I think they beat the Chargers. I think I would pick them to beat the Eagles, but if the Eagles really don't take a step back, and also I said I was going to do
bullshit schedule, dude. 6 of their first 8 games are at home.
I know. Well, the first one doesn't count because it's in Brazil. But can you ever remember a time where a football team won the Super Bowl and afterwards the disrespect of that team winning the Super Bowl in the fashion that they did is almost just like
another BJ rant?
Well, no, this isn't even a rant. It's just this thing where now all of a sudden everybody is just putting the pin in the Eagles and just being like, they're done. They lost everybody in free agency. But then in the same breath being like, they were the most dominant team we've seen in the last decade, but then also we picked them to lose against every team they played against. It's like I've never seen, and this isn't just because it's my team, I've never seen a Super Bowl team like this. Yeah, I got my pen. I've never seen a Super Bowl team like this, Casino, just not have any respect, and even the players are being like, oh, we are disrespected. Can you think of a team that immediately after they dominated the Super Bowl, everybody was just like, I mean, were they good? Are they a good team?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
Come back next week, same time for the Philly soapbox.
Oh yeah, let's talk about a Patriots Miami Dolphins Week 9 matchup. Much more interesting.
I didn't know.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Hey,
you want to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and the Bills? You think the Bills get it done this time? I mean, they haven't for a decade, but yeah, this is the year. This is the year they fucking finally do it.
I think they can because KC's going to take a step back.
They always take a step back. And guess what? The Bills are still somehow ahead of them. And then when they play them, they're one step behind them. Every single matchup, we do this every year.
I'm sticking to it.
When the Bills beat the Chiefs this time, I remember you being like, this is their year. And I was like, this doesn't matter. They're going to lose them in the playoffs. And then that's what happened. It happens every time.
So they had to get the number 1 seed.
And did they?
No, they didn't.
Thank you.
This game might matter.
No.
Fuck off.
It's not going to.
All right. Well, that was the NFL, my friends. Now we got a little time if we want to try to touch in on some NBA and NHL. So I'll just raffle. Let's talk about NHL real quick. There it is. I think the playoffs and the Final Four will be set after tomorrow night. So we've got 3 games. The Vegas has been now eliminated officially by the Oilers, and which is crazy. All the leading scorers, I think it showed the top 8 scorers for Vegas in the regular season had 0 goals against the Oilers. 0. Like I don't care. Everybody was blaming Aiden Hill on this one. He didn't look as sharp as he should have. But when you have, it was like 7 or 8 of your top scoring players for the whole season don't score a single goal in the playoffs or in that series, you're going to lose. You're just going to lose. It is what it is.
Well, I told you in that matchup, that first couple games, like the Oilers defense, and then also that final goal in OT last night, the guy literally just fell on his back and was like sticking out his foot when he didn't need to. And it was just like when they played the replay in slow motion, it was like, what are you doing?
So as a goalie for indoor soccer, because that's what I do.
Yeah.
I feel for him. He looked exhausted from that series.
Well, yeah,
dude.
every game in the series felt like it went.
Yeah, they were outshot every single game.
Yeah.
And I think almost, I don't know if this for a fact, but I know every single game they were outshot, and I do think they were outshot every single period. Could be wrong on that, but anyway, regardless. Moving on. The other 3 games we do have. Tonight we have. Let's see here. I just fucking dumb looking at it on that.
Here, I got it right here.
Yeah.
So
trying to pull it up on that just blows.
Tonight we have
Carolina and we have Dallas. Carolina versus Washington and Dallas versus Winnipeg. I think both of those are closed out tonight. I know Carolina is on the road, but they are just too dominant. And then Dallas going into Winnipeg, I think they get it done. Carolina's favored. Winnipeg is favored, though, against Dallas. I still don't think that matters. I know they were the President Trophy winners, but Dallas is too good of a team. You have Ratatan.
Oh, that's the rat that cooks food?
Yeah, Ratatouille. This is so stupid. But with Dallas, their main guy right now, why am I blanking on his name? Gotta fucking pick his Mikko Ratatinen. He's outstanding this postseason. Like, he is on man on a mission. He has 19 points, 9 goals, and 10 assists for Dallas. That is insane for the playoffs right now. And not even finishing out the second series yet. And he's got 19 points, 9 goals, 10 assists. It's just insane. So I think they get it done. So I think both these games are closed out tonight, especially after Carolina just destroyed Washington that last game. And then tomorrow you have Toronto and Florida. And what did I tell you? You had Toronto going. Did you see that ass kicking that Florida gave Toronto last night in Toronto? They absolutely smoked them. It was 6-1. When it was 4-0, their defense had scored 3 of their first 4 goals, and they were shutting them out. It was outstanding. So, and now they're going back to Florida. I think it's in Toronto's head. They are done after that ass kicking last night.
I mean, that is true. I did have Toronto, but I'm not seeing, when do the Knights play in the second round?
I'm
not seeing it.
Okay, wow, yeah. I got one series wrong this whole fucking playoffs. Go fuck yourself, because I am 3 games away here from finishing out these and being spot on for the entire playoffs outside of the Vegas Oilers. So go fuck yourself. That's pretty damn good, dude.
I mean, it's okay.
That's a fuck you. Oracles comes to hockey, apparently. All right. So that's going to be closed on out. At least I expect it to be. And even if it's not, the other team, all those other teams have to win 2 or 3 games straight. So it's just not going to happen, in my opinion. Let's move on to the NBA while we still have a little bit of time.
Dude, the NBA is it's the exact opposite of the NHL, because everybody has got this 100% wrong. Anybody acting like I saw this like, no, you didn't. No, you did not. Because again, I feel like everybody saw Thunder Nuggets at least going minimum 6 games, which it will be tonight. And if the Thunder win, it'll be in 6 games. If the Nuggets somehow win, did you watch any of the Nuggets Thunder game? The thing that has really stuck out to me in these NBA playoffs is you look at what Jokic has done this entire playoffs against the Clippers and against the Thunder. You look at what guys on the Eastern Conference side, like Donovan Mitchell and Giannis did for the Bucks against the Pacers. We are seeing generational series and games and moments by players who are literally getting swept 4-1 in these series. Like, we talked about it on here. Giannis against the Pacers, he was putting up 30, 20, and 20 almost every game. Donovan Mitchell was scoring 40 plus points every game against the Pacers. Both those series they lost 4-1. And what Jokic is doing against this Thunder team, yes, he struggled against the defense of the Thunder because we talked about it at the beginning of the playoffs where Thunder's defense is overlooked because of how great their offense was.
Right.
But Jokic, he just took over the last 3 minutes of that fourth quarter. He did a like Euro step turnaround fadeaway 3-pointer with two guys on him that went in, and it literally cut to Thunder fans in the crowd just being like, oh, like we're gonna lose. Yeah, we're gonna lose to Jokic just putting on a cape and just being like Superman.
Number 1 or 2 player. I mean, not this year, but number 1 player.
Yeah, he's gonna be second in MVP voting
this year, but he is the best player in the league.
Which also, it's about to be the conference finals. They still have not given out MVP for the NBA, which is weird.
Told you,
that's
NBA
weird.
Waits because they count the postseason,
which I honestly think they should do in every sport, but whatever. But yeah, Jokic, like in the last 2 minutes of this, just put the team on his back and was just making insane shots, and then still the Thunder blew them out.
With that, do you think Denver pushes into a game 7 by a win tonight? They're playing in Denver.
See, I don't, because Jokic he literally had I'll pull it up right now. He had 40 something points in that game, and they still ended up losing by 8 points, 7 points, and it was just like you were watching that game just being like, oh my God, he had in 42 minutes, he had up 44 points. And really, it felt like 20 of those points were in the fourth quarter, and he just turned it on and was like, we're not losing this game. But then guess what? They lost it. For them to lose that game last night, I think that if they would have won and all of a sudden it's 3-2 Nuggets lead going back to Denver, then I think, they might close it out tonight. But I think Thunder close it out. And then they play the Timberwolves next season, which watching that blowout last night between Timberwolves and Warriors, I feel
look good, dude.
Well, I also just feel bad for the Warriors because multiple times during that game, they would get it close and it'd be like, man, if they just had Steph Curry right now, I really feel like they win this series. Like there was just so many times where it was like they're getting wide open looks. They're getting threes.
That happens, man.
Dude, so I feel bad for the Warriors. Obviously, they got their dynasty and all that kind of stuff, but still, Timberwolves, I will say, do look good. They have size. Everyone on their team just looks ginormous. So we are the first 2 teams in the conference finals are Timberwolves and Pacers. 2 teams, not a single person had. If you say you do, you're lying. Shut up. But now, Casino, we have to talk about the Knicks Celtics game last night. This ended up being a game that I feel like a lot of people, including us, saw coming, where it was just like Celtics are good without Tatum. And usually they're good because of Derek White and Brown. Both of them.
Both colors now.
Well, both of them.
Brown.
I mean, that's actually, they should do something with that marketing because both of them had a game last night. But really the person who had the game of his life last night was, if I can find him, he is, oh no, where is it?
I don't know who you're referencing.
I honestly
didn't get to watch the game last night. So.
Oh my God. He had, it was Luke Cornett who had 7 blocks in this game. I believe it was a Celtics playoff record or just a record in general. He had 10 points.
Easy to do when you're over 7 feet, man.
But see, the thing that's interesting with him is he was always like renowned for being a really good 3-point shooter. And since he's been on the Celtics, or since really he's been in the NBA, he no longer shoots like 3-pointers. And he's just kind of like a post-up guy who is also really good defensively. Bless you. He had.
He's taking 0 3-pointers versus the Knicks this year.
Yeah, and he had 7 blocks last night, and 5 of them were just awesome. Just coming out of nowhere, smacking the ball out of somebody's hand, and he just had.
That's so fucking crazy.
Dude, he had just the game of his life last night.
1 block, game 2, 1 block, game 3, 1 block, game 4, 0 blocks, game 5, 7 blocks.
Yeah.
But he did play 26 minutes last night, which is more than he played in those other games. So,
well, they're doing a nice rotation here with the Celtics, and then obviously the.
Do you think they could do it?
I think they could.
I think
but
they could.
Honestly,
would that be the greatest thing? They just rifle off 3 wins to let the Knicks lose. That would be one of my favorite sports stories of the last 5 years.
Well, also
because again, we hate Knicks fans.
Yeah, but last night's game, I will say, was weird because Jalen Brunson got every foul in the book called on him within a 7-minute period. It was really weird. So that is that's also one of those. Now, see, Karl Anthony Towns, on the other hand, every foul called against him was the most obvious foul I've ever seen in my life. So those two balanced out. Josh Hart was bleeding from a shot to the face last night. Knicks had a rough night, but again,
no. Did you just cart it off. I'm watching hockey players take pucks to the face and
this was brutal.
Okay,
this was brutal.
I didn't get to see it.
His face was bloody.
Did he come back out and play though?
I think he did. Yeah.
Good for him. No, I love that.
Well, I mean, Josh Hart is also a psychopath and one of the only likable Knicks because he's such an asshole that I like.
So he's a psychopath like every single hockey player out there.
Yeah, but he's also an asshole, which kind of makes him fun to root for and against. Now, Casino, do you think Game 6 is tomorrow night, Friday night? It's going to be in New York.
I don't think they get it done.
You think the Knicks win or lose?
I think they win, but if it goes Game 7, they lose the series.
I think if it goes Game 7 Monday night in Boston,
they lose the series.
I think they lose the series too, because again, you look at that game last night, they lost by 25. Yeah. Brunson got knocked out, but when he was in, it was still a close game, and it was literally Jalen Brunson and Jaylen Brown just going at each other.
Now have to figure out who they need to cover now. Their game plan's different. Tatum was the guy they planned for, right?
Yeah.
So now they don't. And again, those wins that they have, one was only by a point, and then one was an OT. They're good. I mean, those are good wins. You closed it out, but you're not blowing teams out.
No, and also there is a weird.
Somebody's outside my house.
I would like your opinion on this. Kristaps Porzingis, he was obviously a big factor in the Celtics winning last year. This year has been a ghost, just completely in this. He had a -12.
I think this team is so deep. So here's it. I think this team's so deep that it doesn't even fucking matter.
Well, I don't think so either.
It doesn't matter because, as you just said, Luke Cornett, he's stepping up, right? And last season in the playoffs, Porzingis didn't play half this fucking postseason, that is true. And they still won. So they don't need him. They don't need him. They don't need Tatum. This team is so fucking deep. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
they got some depth. They got some nice players.
Friday night, they win the series.
Ooh, hot take. But
I would love to see that.
I would lose my mind because first off, I think it'd be a great story, and it would just
be Monday. What are we doing? I know you are too, right?
Oh, I am. Or no, I'm going to be out of town.
Now, fuck you.
I am.
All right.
But no, the thing I wanted to bring up with Kristaps Porzingis is he's 29 years old. He has been out basically this entire playoffs and end of last season based on an undetermined illness. So what illness do you possibly think would knock a 29-year-old on his ass and keep him down for basically 2 months?
I will.
You think it's COVID?
No, I don't know.
You think it's sexually transmitted? Because that's what the rumor is, that maybe our boy was playing around with a little too much on the side, and maybe he got something bad.
Possibly.
Bad. Because what else would...
Does he need to set up a meeting with Magic Johnson?
That's it. This is not me saying this. This is the kind of rumor around the internet where it's we have never seen this type of illness or injury knock somebody out like this, where it's kind of just everybody's really hush hush and just like, oh, we don't know what it is. He's just not feeling well. Get what I'm saying? Like, that is weird.
Right.
It's
and
weird.
There is a possibility. I mean, tall people do have medical issues.
Well, that's the other end of it. Yes. Where who knows what's going on in an almost 7 foot tall guy's body.
7'2".
7'2".
So that's what it says on the thing. So he's 7 foot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They always add 2 inches. Always. But,
all right. So that is sports.
Yeah, but I mean, this is again the fall off right now. It's been last year he averaged 12 points in 23 minutes. This year he's averaging 8 points in 21 minutes. It's weird. It's weird. And again, I'm not saying anything. I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just saying that's a rumor. And at this point, that kind of feels like what it could be? Yeah. Question mark? I don't know.
All right.
But
time. My mom told me that my niece did not go to school today. She wasn't feeling that great, so she doesn't have to be over there to watch the kids. She doesn't have to leave for another 20 minutes.
Well, then I had another story I wanted your opinion on.
Damn it, we're never going to get to my damn drink list.
Oh, yeah. I don't have anything ready, Casino. I don't have any. But actually, this is actually what I wanted.
I just want to tell it because nobody's going to give a shit about it. And I don't even need your list. I just want to tell people what I like to drink.
That's true. So there was a report that came out, Casino, that in a new book, who I'm not sure who the new book is written by. It's either by his dad or by himself. It is by it's by ESPN's Seth Wickersham. Great name. Detailed in his upcoming book,
great names here.
American King, a biography of the quarterback that. So this is the story that Caleb Williams and his family thought about going to the NFL draft and meeting with lawyers to figure out how to get out of potentially being drafted by the Chicago Bears. Quote, Chicago is the place quarterbacks go to die. Carl Williams, Caleb's dad, told Wickersham months prior to last year's draft. So you'll never guess where he said he wanted to go. He said that his dad said he was looking and interested in going to play for the Minnesota Vikings, which, I mean, I would rather go there than the Bears as well. But thoughts on this coming out a year later that Caleb Williams basically was doing everything in his power not to be drafted by the Bears. And even
so was it Caleb Williams or was it his family?
No, it was Caleb Williams and his family. And this is the craziest part of this.
Whenever I hear and somebody's family, makes me feel like it's not all on the kid.
Well, also, that quote by his dad really makes it seem like it's like a parent decision. Yes. But this is the craziest thing.
Yeah, they're adults, but they're also young adults.
Well, they're 18. Yeah.
So,
one potential plan was for Williams to reportedly circumvent the 2024 draft altogether and sign with the team in the UFL for a year to avoid being chosen by Chicago. Could you fucking imagine that? If he went to the UFL to avoid Chicago, and then what? This year, I think he would have went to the Titans instead, right? Yeah. He would have, then you think about that, then that shifts what happens this entire draft.
And last draft. So
God, I feel like just from a storyline perspective,
that's a good story.
That would have been fantastic. For a Caleb Williams perspective, I don't think that would have helped him.
No,
right? Because him as a player,
this story comes out bad.
Well, this story, I mean, what are your thoughts on what that does to him as a player now? Do you think he gets any blowback from this? His teammates now? He's with the Bears organization.
No, I don't think it would be a blowback from his teammates or, anything like that. It's, again, this organization is where quarterbacks go to die. It is proven that quarterbacks go to die.
They do go there to die.
So that is, it is nothing on the team itself. It is just the aura and how they bring up quarterbacks in that organization. That's it. That's how I would have taken it if I was a player. Be like, he's not saying this directly about me. He is saying about the organization. They don't help their quarterbacks at all. Whether it's the O-line could be a little upset about it. But also, if you don't have a proper O-line coach or a proper quarterback coach, which they don't put people in place properly to help these guys, then fuck off. And I do. Yeah. And again, with that dad quote, that does make me feel like it's a lot more family and parents than it is him. I think he just wanted to be in the NFL.
So after he met with NFC North team, the Minnesota Vikings, he became the object of Williams and his family's eye. After a 2024 NFL Scouting Combine meeting with the Vikings head coach, Kevin O'Connell, Williams reportedly told his father that he needed to go to the Vikings. Bears general manager Ryan Poles, however, extinguished all hope of Williams going anywhere but Chicago when he told the UFC signal caller in their meeting, "We're drafting you number one no matter what." So, again, I feel like where the Vikings were picking, weren't they like the middle of the draft that year? So also the amount of money he would have lost going from the number 1 overall pick to the 15th overall pick, like that would have been a substantial drop. And it's also one of those things where this all does sound like secondhand knowledge from his father, as you said. And that's one of the things where he could just come out just straight up and be like, "Oh yeah, I never said that. I don't know where my dad's getting this." And then privately call your dad and be like, "Dad, what the fuck? I'm already on the Bears. I'm already here.
Yeah.
Like, why are you throwing me under the bus again for a random ESPN person's book?"
Yeah.
Like,
he wants money.
All right, Casino, do your drinks.
No, I don't care. I don't want to do it.
That's good. Dude, it is so hot in this
Well,
room.
we're going to check to see if that fan works. I want to check that out. We can always open doors. We'll get some cross draft through here.
It is, my face is so red on this, and that is from heat.
It's not that hot yet.
But I think it's the shirt. This material is very, very wool.
I feel pretty good.
I mean, you look great.
Thanks.
You look great.
But yeah, no, we can get little fans in here. We turn on that fan. And we'll just check the noise background. Good. All right. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you for listening to the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Casino. That is Will over there, or as I call him, BJ, because he gets the best ones.
You know it. You know it.
Yeah.
I won't deny that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I've never given one, so by that logic, I don't know if I would give a bad or good one.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. You never know till you try.
Yeah.
Now let's turn these cameras off and try. But that has been the Only Sports Podcast. We are 7 episodes away from episode 200.
Yeah,
which is crazy. We got to do something special for 200.
I thought we said we were going to go nude.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, and I also promised to go a button down every half hour, but this, for the last time today, has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. We'll see you Tuesday. Adios.
Tuesday.